Ladies and gentlemen, we came out of we reached the end rather of the Zimbabwe South Africa test series. It was a 2-match series which saw the Proteas soaring to victory. Now we are 10 matches unbeaten. I mean, Coach Lubabalo did say that we are the greatest nation to ever exist. And I agree with him, man. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the boundary line. My name is Hatli Solorato. I am joined by my co-host, Mr. Bakampale.
Po, 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 po. Thank you very much. Good day, good day, good day. And we
Yeah,
are here to talk about the greatest nation in the test arena. So
yeah.
totally agree with what Coach Luba said. Baba.
Mm.
Yeah. So it was
Okay,
a great one.
let's start. Let's start with yeah.
I'm saying that
Okay,
it was a great one. And then uh, we hold the longest run, unbeaten run. So it's good. So I hope it continues, man.
with the greatness that we saw, I hope that it will continue. But Bakang, let's start with the elephant in the room. The Wiaan Mulder's declaration. When I saw this declaration myself, I was super perplexed. There was an opportunity for Wiaan Mulder to break the 21-year-old record, of course, the one of Brian Lara, and then he decided not to. We had so many time left in the game, and when I hear the explanation, I was even disgusted, for lack of better words, because when you say that the reason why you did not go to break a record because it's the record of the legend and it has to stay that way, it begs the question: don't you want to retire yourself as a legend? We are talking about someone who's been in the South African setup for only 5 years, but his 100 came only last year against Bangladesh. Here is the thing about records. Records immortalizes your playing career. Long after you retired, people will be talking about your record. Sometimes, even when you are long gone, when you are dead, the record will be there. And I so wanted that record at least to be held by a South African. I don't know if Wiaan Mulder will ever come close to that record again. Talk to me, Bakang. Make this make sense to me because at this moment it doesn't make sense to me.
Oh well. You know, I think that's one of the decisions that many people were left perplexed, as you say. Many people were left confused, and some were livid, bro. Some were livid about what Mulder did. I mean, he was just 33 runs short of equaling the record of the great Brian Lara. But I guess I personally, from uh, my own corner, I think I kind of understand uh, what what reasons he gave for that. And then
Mm,
um, we always say that cricket is a gentleman's sport. So I guess he
mm,
became an extra gentleman, if we are to put it in that way. So um, there were many records to be broken or people to surpass. I mean, from
mm,
all the top scorers, I mean, he's on number five. So we could have
mm.
went for Matthew Hayden's at number two if we really didn't want
Yeah.
to break our Brian Lara's record. But to
Mm,
me, I think it was selflessness from his side and him
mm,
being a modest person that he is, man. So
mm,
I kind of understand that. And then if 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 he really was thinking about breaking that record, then he would have, or
mm,
not breaking Ryan Lara's, so to speak. I think he would have pushed
mm,
until he was on number two to surpass the
mm,
Matthew Hayden's 380. And then,
mm,
I mean, that also was against Zimbabwe. So there was just a lot of things. So I guess him
mm.
being selfless and modest, he put the team first more than his personal record. So I think I see it from that angle.
For me, it's not selfless, it's outright stupid. And for him to say that he spoke to Coach Shooks and Coach Shooks really bought into this idea, I'm like, dude, you are not AB de Villiers. You are not one of the greatest batsmen ever to think that you will ever come that close. And I can't even say that, because he didn't want to break that record against Zimbabwe. Many teams went on and played Zimbabwe, and they did not even come close. So you are calling it selfless? My guy, my guy. I'm calling that outright stupid. That's what it is.
Yeah, and I'm saying, I think he himself knows that he will never get a chance of coming close to what he was at that particular moment. So I think to him, it's not really
Mm,
about breaking the record or dethroning Brian Lara. He's just that person who's just
mm,
enjoying his cricket, and then whatever decision that he took it um the out of the game in itself, not only his personal records, because I mean right now is now our leading. He holds the national record after surpassing
mm.
Hashim Amla 311. So I think that as well, he wasn't even thinking about it. So I think as he explained that he felt that we've got enough on the board. So and the plan in the morning when they came out, it was to say let's push until lunch, and then we'll declare on lunch. So we didn't want to go against the team plans, and then to chase his personal record. So I think that was the whole thinking around the decision.
I hear you. You are bringing a very different perspective. But then, just 30 minutes before lunch, you could see that this guy was rushing for something. He was playing his shot, and he said that he never had a record in his mind. But for me, I felt like, that was the thing that he had in mind. That, okay, like you said, they say that they will declare before lunch. He was like, okay, let me get this runs before lunch. But then for me, closing this topic, I think 5 or 10 overs wouldn't hit after lunch, and then you bring on the other guys, to bet. And when we talk about Wiaan Mulder, we are talking about someone who averaged 22.2 in 19 tests, you know. And then after this test, after his 146 in the first test, we saw his average moving to 26. And then after this 367, we saw his average soaring to 38. If you don't think about record, think about at least your betting average, because now the plan of our national director of cricket and the coaching staff is that we need to build depth. The competition in the Proteas is massive. You've just been given this position that is new, that you are still to solidify yourself in. You go on, and in your word, you be selfless. I mean, my guy, that was totally not it for me. Do you want to say anything else before we
Yeah,
continue?
it's good that we have contrasting ideas regarding this whole thing,
A view.
you know. But I believe
Mm,
that Mulder currently is enjoying his cricket. So unless we
yep.
said that he's chasing records or to break records or to do what, I guess he said something profound when he was interviewed by Polly and said maybe that was not what I was
Mm,
destined to do. I have my own destiny which I have
mm.
to pave way for. So I guess um I kind of understand where he's coming from, and then he's only thinking about cricket, not personal records or breaking records, so to speak. So I believe uh, he's just enjoying the moment. So he doesn't care about what
mm,
happens around him or what he needs to. Because us from far, we might say he
mm,
made a stupid decision or he made an unpopular decision that anyone wouldn't have done. But I guess at that
mm,
moment he was in his zone and thought about the
mm.
team, not breaking records and stuff. So building depth, yes, that's what we do it. So I think part of a player being the greatest player or being a great
Mm,
player, a competitive player,
mm,
he has to be
mm.
thinking about the team, not only himself. I think that's one recipe of player success to put the team first before themselves.
Being a team player, being a team player.
Yeah.
But I think he will be known as that guy who failed to beat Brian
So so
Lara's
so
record.
so
I think that will be his legacy.
So yeah, so personally, I wanted to add on to that to say, he'll be remembered as that person who didn't want to break Brian Lara's long-standing record, and then we might say, "Hore," I'm sure he's on Brian Lara's Christmas list of gifts. So yeah, by Christmas maybe Brian Lara will deliver a gift to him. But thank you, my guy, for not breaking my record and then for thinking about me when you were betting. I guess one of those.
Yeah, coming to this test series, we saw Proteas introducing new players into the test arena. Luandra Pretorius, Dibal Travis, Subrian. We saw them bringing Cody Yusuf. Looking at all of those guys, I think there were five of them. It's just that there is this one that I forget. Looking at all of this guys, Liseko Senokwane, that's the last one. Looking at all of those one, my view is that they did perform to a certain extent, and when you look at Lesego Senokwane, I think he did not get the great fair of chances as he only played the second game, one inning, and he did not perform. But ke a mo tshogela, I fear for him because now, like I said about Mulder, there is a lot of depth in this squad that sometimes, you know, when you get a chance, you have to use it. And he failed to capitalize it. Talk to me about everyone that is in the team and their future thereof, when it comes to the Proteas, the impression that they made to you, and so on and so forth.
Okay, okay. Breaking down, starting off with Luandre Pretorius. I mean, in the first test,
Yeah.
he came in and made some runs. Second test, he
Mm,
came and scored a half century, 78 to be precise.
yes.
So him,
Mm,
I think he was there, and then I think form as well also helped him, and then I think he was free as well. So hence it allowed him to
yeah.
play his natural game. So we might
Mm,
say that out of them all in the betting lineup, and then he's the one who performed well on the debutants,
mm,
and then who else? Dioval Brevis chipping in
mm,
a half century in the first one.
mm,
Second test, he missed out. I
mm,
think he didn't perform as he would have loved to, but it's not
mm,
a train smash. It's not a train smash.
mm,
But he did show that he is one to
mm,
compete in the first test. So yeah, I think him as well. And then Cody Yusuf, man, Cody Yusuf, he came in, hit those areas, line and length, and then he was rewarded. He got into the wickets column. Great performance in the
mm,
first match. Second match, he came in and
mm,
managed to get 4 wickets, which is great. I think he himself is also pleased with his performance. And then
yes.
who else? Lesejo, you've said it. I think
Mm,
it would be unfair to judge him on the first innings because in a test,
Yes.
there's two innings. So due to our performance, we couldn't even get a chance to get to the second inning.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
it would be unfair, but I think he needed to prove himself. It wasn't to be.
Yeah.
It wasn't to be. So yeah,
Mm.
I think with you having said the step and whatnot, I believe as a
Mm.
sportman, you know that there's players who are ahead of you, and then you just need to keep chasing and wait for your chance to come. So I
Mm.
believe if he is in the plans, he will get his chance and he will grab it
Mm.
with both arms. Um, uh, who
Mm.
else? Mutusami came in, took 4 wickets. He
Then
replaced the he,
Mm.
4 wickets in a match that I meant. Mutusami.
Yeah.
First innings he got 1 wicket,
Mm.
and then second innings he got three. So
Mm.
he took 4 wickets for the match.
Mm.
On debut. So
Mm.
him as well. I don't think he would. We would say he didn't have a great performance. I think he did come
Yeah.
in and made his statement as well because he was coming in for captain cash out. So you understand the bar is
Just,
set too high.
just, yeah. Just to correct you, I think you are talking about Subrayan, not Motosami, because Motosami it wasn't his debut.
No, no. So Brian was not on debut. Motusan was on debut.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So yeah. So Brian
No.
is a
All
return
right.
soldier that
So
one. So, yeah, he chipped in with those four
it's not
wickets, man, which was
okay. Mm.
yeah. Yeah, so
Okay, continue.
Mutusami
All right.
came in, and then man, he was
Mm.
replacing the great Keshav Maharaj. So he had to come in there and make his statement. And
Yeah.
then, you know, I believe there's an open place for spinners in the South African setup because you think of
Mm.
Maharaj's age as well. So
Mm.
someone needs to come in. So he had to raise his hand and say, "Coach, I'm here to compete. Coach, please consider me." So I think
Mm.
he performed fairly. I think he performed fairly, which
Mm.
was fair. And then,
Mm.
man, yeah, that's all. I think Brevis, but the top one would be Luandre Pretoria, man. I think the top one would
Yeah.
be Luandre Pretorias, and then
Yeah.
Cody Yusuf. He's been
Yeah.
there. So those are my two top ones between the rest.
And and it's a good thing because they will remain in Zimbabwe for the T20 tri series against Zimbabwe and New Zealand. So I think they will be able to pick up where they left off, and they are capable.
Yeah, 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 yeah. That's true.
So
Yeah,
so going into this test, when Mapaka was touted as the leader of our uh, bowling attack. He did not live to the expectation. Not a train smash, I believe. He's so young, but him being young makes me wonder or worry about his mental state. When you go there taunted as the leader of the pack and then you did not perform, what does that do, to his psyche? So where do you think is from here for our young Kwena Mapaka?
Kwena, I think we need to acknowledge the fact that he hasn't played a lot leading up to this.
Mm,
So competitive cricket, I mean, international cricket is a whole different level. So
mm,
I think we saw in the first test that he wasn't getting the land. He wasn't consistent
mm,
in his lines. And so he kept on missing. So I believe the only scare
mm,
that he did was to hit that guy in the helmet. That was the only thing. But other than that, he was missing the line. So I guess we would say chin up, young man, and then he should focus more on getting his lines and then on track, and then
mm,
he'll bounce back. We know what of a play, what of a bowler he is. He is great, and
mm,
then he showed up, and then even when he was called up, he was on red hot form. So I believe
mm, mm,
being inactive also played a
mm.
great role in his performance. So I believe that the
Yeah.
more he plays, the more he will regain whatever. But yeah, I don't think
Mm,
it was a train smash because remember it was a young team and we
yeah.
had a lot of debutants, so we had to try some other um, players to bring in the Proteas setup. So I guess him being dropped for the second test doesn't mean is a bad player or anything. I believe it's part of rotation just to check out the players as to which one do we focus on or which one do we keep on our test players. So I guess it's one of those pick and
Mm.
choose. So yeah.
Oh, okay. I just want to touch the office stuff now. From
Okay.
here, we are going straight into the World Test Championships. I'm talking about now the major competition. We are the defending champions. But there is something that was said, by our director of high performance and national teams, Kungwe, to say that now that Coach Shooks is the coach of all format, they were going to go with the selectors. And in one of the interviews, Coach Shooks did say that I'm not a fan of selectors. I want to be able to be in control, you know, so that when I failed, I know that it is entirely my fault. And for me, um, Coach Shooks is a big character, man. He doesn't take a no for an answer. He is the guy who knows what exactly he wants, and that's good when you have a coach that is decisive. What is your thought, firstly, on selectors and you know if Cricket South Africa decided to go with the selectors, against the advices of Coach Shooks, how do you think that it will work? The power dynamics between Coach Shooks and the selectors.
I think I kind of understand where was Coach Shooks coming from because I remember in that
Mm,
interview he said he touched on something that's very important if I'm to call it out because he said someone will come as a national convener or selector and then they will come with their
mm,
own agenda. You understand? But
mm,
at the end of the day, when the seats when the seat what's up, it's gonna be only him who's gonna be liable to answer that. So him wanting to be the sole um selector or sole person
mm,
to select his team, I think
mm,
it kind of makes sense because at the end of the day, if it comes to accountability and other things, it's him at the end of the day.
mm,
So I think the thing that he's really worried about is people coming in with their own agendas. And then we
yeah.
know how these things sometimes, how coaches lose their dressing room and stuff. It's caused
Mm,
by
mm,
external factors. So I think
mm,
if it's him alone making the
yeah.
decision and saying, I will answer to whatever decision that I take, I think it's
Mm,
fair. You
yeah.
understand? So
Yeah.
which leads me to your question. I don't think
Mm,
I'm also pleased with having them around. Although one would
mm,
seem that administratively and um, in
Mm.
his scope of work, it would be too much administration for
Too
Coach
much
Shooks. But
workload. Yeah.
if yeah, too much workload. So I think if we see it from um, the Enoch Nkwe's point of view, it would
Mm.
ease up the workload. But if we talk about uh, accountability and being the leader of the boys, I think Coach Shooks is quite correct. So
Mm.
I'm also not a fan of selectors personally.
Mm. Yeah. Okay. No, Mr. Pale. Swana sa re re ska ra ela tswa bobe re ka e ntsha bolele. Thank you so much, man, for coming up. Next time I want you and Coach Lou to host an episode together without me. Are you up for a
Uh,
challenge?
that'll, that'll be dope. That'll be dope. That'll be dope.
Uh,
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I guess we have
mm,
a conversation and then decide to have like to host that. I'm more than happy to do
yeah.
that. So yeah, if it's I'm sure Lene you wouldn't
Here's
mind.
one thing. Yeah. Here's one thing. I can control you guys when you are apart. We saw that King uh TikTok
TikTok
live
live.
that I'm going to have a problem if I have to bring you guys together with me in the yeah.
Yeah,
So I
yeah,
want
yeah.
you guys to be all on your own because you are like bana ba ba jeleng tswekere before ba robala bosigo. So uncontrollable.
And you on the other hand, you like controlling things and you like
But
order. So I guess
individually, yeah, I can work, I can call, yeah. I'm that kid, nama lo meche, kid, not that uncle who holds things together. See?
hey, and I eat or a ka tse seo ditaba di itaolela anong ka tsaya le teng ke thibang mona ke thibang hela sa batlogela ke e bone nako eo. So but I think if you are two, I think we would have a meaningful um chat. I saw it, so he's a cool guy. I kind of like him. I like him a lot. His
Yeah.
insight, I mean, very knowledgeable.
Mm,
And then him speaking from a coaching point of view and loving cricket. So he's a man of many hats. So I guess um, uh, how he behaves or how he comes out when he's having a conversation with me or us, it,
mm,
it there's a lot that we can learn from him. And then
mm,
he can be indirectly our our leader, in terms of the technicalities of cricket and
mm.
those. Yeah, can learn a
Yo,
lot.
Baba Los Kosana, I just
Teacher
had
loops.
your CV from Bakampale, Mr. Pale. We're gonna do this again. Definitely. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Oh no, say no. We definitely will do it again, man. Let's just wait for Monday as the ODI series starts. So yeah, there's a lot to talk about as well, I guess. Then it presents a chance for the boys to continue, especially the young ones, because man, we need to start now with our succession plan. So Zimbabwe was our starting point. We go in there that day, Vision 2027 and beyond. There we go, say thank you, signing
Thank
out the boundary line. Peace.